you always have to plan accordingly. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Now, all right. So different ways to build on your financial literacy. There's a great Super Bowl financial literacy app that we have on our iPads that you can look at and play with. The Game of Life, that's a really fun one. So you can actually use this on your iPad or actually, from the Smart Store. You can play the Game of Life, which you have to do academic, personal, and also your financial career, and then doing a virtual budget for yourself, a self-assessment, or just additional ways that you can reinforce financial literacy. So I think it's important that we continue doing this and have this dialogue because a lot of your peers are not having this conversation. So when they get to where you're going to be graduating from the College of Charleston in just a few short years, you guys will be ahead of the game. So, and that's what, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about making sure that you have great financial decisions and we also know the information. Okay. All right. Questions?
What are good ways to make money?
Good ways to make money.
Like side jobs, gigs, investments, stocks,
Okay.
bonds,
Okay.
CDs, all that. Like
Absolutely.
Stuff.
So one of the things that I would suggest is that as a young professional where you are right now, a really good one that you can look at, stocks and bonds have different pros and cons. So you got to really know what the market is right now. Like I said, the market is really up and down right now because of that devaluation thing that China and us are doing, going back and forth over. So once it kind of levels out, which is hopefully in another week or so, then we'll have a kind of better baseline idea. But you can always, there's a lot of different services you can go and you can just invest in some money a little bit at a time. So if you got some extra pocket change, and when I mean pocket change, like, $10, $15, you can invest in that and go online and invest. So there's a lot of different places you can invest in. One of the things that I always recommend to people is research what you want to invest in. If you have a passion for fashion, okay, there's going to be some kind of fashion, out there. You can invest. So do a little bit of research on your end, and overall you can get invested. And there's a lot of cool programs out there too that you can get online. I think the newest one that I saw, I'm trying to think about what the name of it was. I saw that on a commercial last week. It was one of I'm trying to think about it. I'll have to get back to you on what the name of it is, but I did see it on a commercial last week, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, because they actually have an interface with your app, through your phone, which is kind of cool. You can kind of give as you go and get updates. So that's one really easy way to do that. Another thing you can invest in, which a lot of adults to do, is kind of like a safer measure, is having that fixed savings account where you have money going directly drawn out of your check every month, goes directly into your savings account, where you start out with doing $25, $30 up to $50, maybe $75 eventually, or eventually if you want to $100, where it comes out before taxes. You don't even see it in your check, and then before too long you've got this investment. Now I wouldn't put it in something where you can just go readily over there and say, hey, I'm going to go take out this money. Have it where it's accessible, but not to the point where you can get it like the next day. So that's always kind of a really, really opportunity way. Now, when you're looking at stocks and bonds, that's something that I always recommend individuals see what some of the current trends are. What's really big right now. As you see right now, what are some of the things that you guys are seeing that your peers are always purchasing? What are some things that they're doing right now? What's really big? iPhone. So Apple is a really great place to invest in terms of stocks and bonds. Look at what your purchase price is, see if it's affordable and seeing something that you want to actually do, and then invest. If you got a few extra dollars, $50 here, $50 there, eventually before too long, you've kind of made a whole bunch of money back, just kind of make sure, because like I said, the market is always one of those things that if you go all the way in, it's not as safe. Now, if you kind of hold back a little bit, you can kind of appropriate accordingly depending on what the market looks like. But that's one really quick thing to do, is kind of look at what the trends are right now. Another thing I think that's really cool right now too is, I believe it is one of the new technologies I saw. It is the 3D printers. I don't know who the company is. Is that Lucid Technologies that's in charge of 3D printers?
I don't know. But they are popular.
Yeah, but 3D printers is a big thing right now. I don't know if you saw this, but they actually created the first ever amputee arm on a 3D printer. It took them 72 hours to make, but they gave it to a little girl, and so they, as opposed to paying like $10,000 for mechanical arms, they actually made one using a 3D printer. So technology like that, like that's the future where things are. So those things, really think new trends, find out, research, ask questions, and invest. You know, am I by any means a financial guru planner? No, that is not my forte. But I know a little bit about what the market looks like and things. I always tell students, do some research. You're gonna have to do a little grunt work and to figure out what's really out there. And then always go and once again develop that rapport with your financial planner at the bank. Every bank has one. You can go talk to them and they'll give you really good advice about what's good, what's not, what are some current trends. You know, do you want to play it safe or do you want to go all in? Like our poker game, you know, you can decide whichever you want to play. So if you've got somebody to play with and you're okay with losing it, then I would say go all in. You know, be the risky person. But not all of us are that risky. So some of us want to play it a little bit safer so you can plan accordingly. Cool. Good question though. Look at you. Anybody else have any questions? So what's one thing we're going to take away from today?
Saving money.
Saving money. All right. Anything else?
Making a budget and sticking to it.
Making a budget and sticking to it. Okay.
And adjusting as needed.
Adjusting as needed.
Making a budget.
Yep.
Sticking to it.
So, you know, and making that budget and having these conversations is just the first step in becoming, you know, more adaptive, more knowledgeable about financial planning and financial literacy. So, like I said, you guys are well ahead of some of your peers because not all of your peers get this on a regular basis, get access to this information so that they are well versed. Because when they get out there, usually they're investing in things. Another thing that just came to mind is apps. You know, College of Charleston is one of the central focus places in the country where you can invest and create an app. And like, you know, the creator of Yit Yak, he graduated last year from the college, and he's a millionaire.
From what college?
Here.
Time out, y'all. Y'all playing me.
No, I'm serious.
For real?
The creator of Yit Yak,
Give it to my friend.
he created in the incubator, business incubator for apps. He created it, and they invested and got real people to invest in it, and it became a real app, and then he sold it.
So what's the go back to the first thing he did, the incubator?
He went to the small business incubator.
What is that?
That is run through the School of Business. It's in Toll Library.
Okay.
They have a center, and they have like I think 7 different stations where you can go and you can work through them. But if you're interested in doing that, that's where the money is, technology. So if you're really good at programming or you want to learn, take a class on building apps, go do that and test it, you know, and see what the market looks like. I know the one that I just saw recently, it's Yowler, not Yowler. The one I saw recently.
At Starbucks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it recently. It's a picture of a Bigfoot. There's a new app out now. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I'm thinking it's very similar to Yelp, but more user-friendly. And I believe a college student created it. So
I didn't know that because my roommate last year was always on Yit Yak. I didn't know what it was, and I never paid a mind to it, but I just know that you could say anything without
yeah, I think Yik Yak is atrocious, but for me, it's
It's
like
social media without the guilt.
Well, it's social media without filters. So
Yeah.
you can be a jerk and say horrendous things and put it out there, and nobody ever knows who it is.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah. So like I
Don't-
said, it is what it is. But he created it, he sold it.
Oh, he sold it. Oh,
Yeah, he sold it.
is he still a part of it, or? I know some
I think he
companies.
sold it.
Oh man.
So I mean, I think a big corporation owns it now or something.
Pretty
So,
cool.
but I know that he was working on the second app too. So I don't know what that second one looks like. But that's where the money is. So investing apps, creating apps. That's where the future is.
Oh, he's like a millionaire now. Or?
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Just think about it, just graduating college, already got $1 million bucks.
My debt's paid.
So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'll refer you to Dr. Starr. Chris Starr is the actual professor that runs the business incubator that actually develops app. He asked me the day, I saw him a few weeks ago, if I was interested in making an app. And I was like, I don't even know the first thing about making apps or what I would want to make, What would that look like? I would think I would need to do a lot of strategic planning to figure that one out.
I feel the same way. I got a lot of friends. I know a friend that does coding, but
Right.
I'd rather be like behind. I'd rather do the other part, like the ideas and the creative part.
Yeah.
But the coding is not me.
Yeah, so take some practice. So yeah, if that class ever comes around again, I might actually take it just to see what it would be like to create an app. Because I want to learn. I mean, I see like conferences do that sometimes. They'll create apps for a conference. I just think that's so cool.
It's because everybody got smartphones now, so you got to involve technology.
Technology, yeah. How many of you have seen the Liquid computer by Microsoft? You guys seen that?
Mm-mm.
It is literally a computer that is liquid. The screen is liquid. You touch it and it like moves like water. It's crazy. Like, to me, it amazes me. So
I've never seen that.
it's about as big as a table.
Oh,
It's
new. It's
It's
new.
new. But the interface, you touch it, and any technology that you have, you can interface with it just by touching it, and you can pull off media off it. You can tell it what you want it
So
to
the
do.
one that's like a holograph kind of thing?
Yes and no. So it is like liquid. For me, the only thing I can explain it is like it's like watching a television that's got water in it, but it's not really water.
So if you touch it, will your hand will be wet?
No, your hand you will it will feel like
It looks like it.
yeah.
So basically,
Okay.
it's like clay. It's water, but it's like a clay kind of water where you can touch and move around.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's the weirdest thing. I've never actually touched one in person, but I've seen the interview with Bill
Wait,
Gates.
so does your hand go through or not?
No. You touched it. You touched the screen. Like,
It's the actual thing there you touch it.
I mean, you touch it and it has ripples. Yeah, I mean it's the craziest thing ever.
I'll
So,
Google that.
Damn technology.
but there, if you do go to YouTube, you can type it in, and Bill Gates actually has one in his house, and he was showing how the future is going to be this liquid television, the liquid computer.
I hope he already did his copyright.
So I just think that's crazy.
That's cool. Yeah.
But, I mean, the future.
And the next person do probably holograms. That's gonna be the next thing.
They on a side note about 3D printers, they printed the first ever toucan bill. Two toucans lost their bill in the horrendous illegal trading of toucans of wild birds in South America.
Mm-hmm.
And these individuals, two different companies, didn't even know they were doing the same thing. They developed using the 3D printer a polyurethane hardened plastic toucan bill. So now the toucan actually can eat properly. I just think that is the
That's
coolest
nice.
thing ever. Talk about rehabilitation. I'm blown away by that. So, anyways, technology is amazing. But thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it. And if you guys will hand your little pre-assessment in,
The post one too?
yeah, please fill out the financial literacy one too. It's
And
the
our
front and
budgets?
back. Yes, and hand back your budgets. So I have those. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
When do we find out how much we get?
If you want to follow me in there in a second, I can tell you how much you're going to get. Some people are it's already shown up on their accounts, so it should be hitting within today or within tomorrow.
Okay.
So sorry, I apologize again for how long this took forever. It kind of wanted me to pull my hair out about a week and a half ago. But doing this now that we've done this process once, the springtime is going to be so much more effective. Okay, so we had to jump through a few different hoops to get it polished, but now that we have it, the process will be very similar. The application will come out in November. It'll be due December 1st, and then shortly after we'll have the review process and do what we did in the fall. Okay.
I have to go because I have to eat before
All right,
the
go
contract
ahead.
is
Yep. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
What time is it? 6:30.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Too much? Too far?
Bonner meeting.
No, it's 6:26. You're almost there. Bonner meeting over?
Oh yes, it's right upstairs.